And I think it's so important. I honestly, sincerely don't believe President Biden gets the credit for the economy we have now. We have the lowest unemployment since 1969, lowest Black unemployment in the history of keeping those numbers. And just today, a short time ago, ADP reported May growth of jobs more than people expected. What is it? How can you make the case to people that where we are now isn't happenstance, that President Biden's policies and leadership got us to where we are? Because he came in the last full month of Trump's term, 6.7 unemployment. We're at 3.4% now. I mean, it's remarkable where we are.
Well, I've seen people just recently, Fareed Zakaria, say, there's just no question that when you compare the United States to the rest of the world, that there is no one who's performed as well as us. Now, everyone in the world is dealing with some of the strains from the pandemic and from the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And so that has affected inflation, and that's been hard on working families across the world and certainly here. But you'll see we're more middle of the pack there on that, which is a problem. But when it comes to jobs, when it comes to growth, when it comes to unemployment, there's just no one who's rebounded as well. And I think the American Rescue Plan, having that boldness there to strengthen our economy, to bring down poverty, to prevent evictions, to help every state and local government, has really helped. One, it got us to, as you said, a recovery that was enormously equitable. I mean, Black and Hispanic unemployment at record lows, less of what we call scarring, dramatically drops in long-term unemployment and youth unemployment. We had the first ever national eviction prevention strategy that actually kept evictions below averages during this terrible period that we went through. None of those things were accident. And I think that, you do learn lessons. And I think I was National Economic Advisor, second one under President Obama. And we saw that we had a really strong recovery plan that got us out of a potential Great Depression, which was great. But we also could never get that second half of it. And we saw how it prevented the recovery from being as strong as and equitable as President Obama wanted. This time, we made sure that there was enough to help and to be an insurance policy. Who could have predicted then Russia would invade Ukraine and throw off global energy prices? But people had a little bit of a cushion. They've made a difference. Not everybody could have predicted there'd be such problems with learning loss or mental health, but we've had some of the abilities to deal with those things. And, again, the fact that we're at 3.4% unemployment, the two highest years of job growth in the history of the country. No, it was not an accident. And I think the more lasting thing you're also going to see is you've seen from President Trump to Democrats, others, we want to bring jobs back. We want to have a renaissance in manufacturing. We can make things here. We can help small businesses by bringing back jobs, not having an outsourcing economy. There's always been a lot of talk about that. Now you see a president really succeeding with an infrastructure bill, a CHIPS bill, the Inflation Reduction Act bill. And, one of the important things about this agreement was that none of those things were touched. And that is a commitment to keep this economy going. Look, there's always some rough moments and, there could be some ups and downs. But when you look at $400 billion of private investment coming into the United States factories, those are people who've decided to invest their future in the United States. That's about jobs, not just for next month or next year, but for the next decade or 2 decades.